It's February, and this year it's 2020, which happens to mean leap year. That means you get one extra day this month to crush your goals. I had to. Ow. What's up, you guys? Frankie here. This is the Money Resolution, where we talk all things personal finance, and this is part 2 of 12 of the course, The Money Resolution, where each month I'm going to give you 5 tips, 1 hack, and 1 media recommendation to help you crush your goals in 1 year. And if you like this idea in this series, I super appreciate a like. It means a ton to me. Subscribe so you can tune in and stick around for more, and drop a comment to engage with the series. I definitely try to reply to every single one of you. All those things mean the world to me. It shows a lot of support, and it's a nice way to say thank you for all the time and energy and editing that I put into each and every single one of these. It also helps the videos get discovered, so I super appreciate it. As I said in my last video, I moved. So this is my new office, and we are going to continue to work on it. Actually, right after filming, we're gonna paint. So last time you should see this blank wall behind me. But before that, priorities. Once again, this is part 2 of 12 of the Money Resolution, the course, where I'm putting everything out here first on YouTube, and then at the end of all this, I'm gonna package it together in November or December or so and sell it somewhere else, but you're here now, so you're getting it for free. And this month is particularly important if you set a resolution to get good with all things money, because statistically speaking, month 2 is where most people fall off their resolution. So if you can just get through month 2, you are 99% more likely to complete the entire year. I probably just made that last part up, but you get the idea. If you're watching this video and it's not February, I do have to say, just look at this as a 30-day challenge. You can start this any day of the year. Since this is the second, I now officially have started a playlist. The next video should autoplay after this, so kick back, relax. I'm just kidding. Grab a pen and paper. I really do hope you take notes and try to engage with this project and these challenges. If you're not taking notes, that's totally okay too. I will put all the tips and my notes in the description below, along with a link to the 4-page Google Doc that has most of the transcript from this video. So let's jump in. So each month I am trying to come up with a theme that sort of ties in with the tips, and this month the theme is kind of loose, but it is to crunch the numbers. It does tie in nicely with the first tip this month. The first tip this month is to track every dollar. Now, if you are doing this series in order, last month I challenged you to determine your net worth. So that was a soft introduction, mathematically speaking, to this exercise. So I really don't care how you do this month. Honestly, I'd probably recommend Excel. I think it's really simple that way. But you also might want to use some online software. So some that come to mind off the top of my head are Mint, Personal Capital. You Need a Budget, but I think You Need a Budget does have a monthly fee, and it's honestly not that cheap, so maybe not that one just yet. Good old-fashioned pen and paper also works as well. So the idea here is to write down every single dollar that you spend, whether it's cash, credit, or debit, or check. Do people still use checks? And also to make sure that you're tracking your income as well. In a perfect world, at the end of all this, you're also going to be able to categorize all of your spending to give you a really good high-level sense of your habits. So in terms of the categories, at the end of the month, you definitely want to isolate and focus on your housing, your food, and your transportation. I call these the big 3. And then of course, look into everything else, including your subscriptions, your bills, pet care, kid care, and then all the fun money you blow on the weekends. In doing so, this will also help you figure out exactly what bills hit at what time of the month. I do recommend, as you get started, that you take pictures of your receipts as you get them, because those are super easy to lose. Check those receipts against your accounts. And of course, keep a close eye on your bank and credit card statements. So track, organize, know where each dollar and each penny comes from and where it goes to. We're not working on budgeting. We just want you to know exactly what you're spending and what you're spending it on. And in the future, we'll of course focus on where we can cut and where we can improve these habits. Next up, tip number 2 is more of a challenge, and this is to reduce 3 expenses this month. Honestly, you probably have a lot more expenses than you realize. It is not just your utilities, your electricity, your garbage. There are subscription services, there are memberships, parking and storage perhaps if you live in a facility like I do. Insurance falls in this bucket as well, and you probably have multiple kinds of it. Credit card fees. So all of these things can really sneak up on you. So since you're tracking every dollar this month, that's a good place to start, is see when you're getting hit with these bills and see if you can reduce or eliminate 3 of them. This was honestly one of the very first things I did back in 2018 when I started my personal resolution to get good with money. I would spend time on my lunch, going outside, leaving the office, calling insurance one day, calling my credit card company the next day to see if they'd reduce any of my rates. I compared quotes and I made sure that I was saving as much as I could. And this might be where you find that these subscriptions you have, you could honestly live without. And if you can reduce 3, this is going to add up. Just 1 or 2 here or there, not gonna do a ton, but 3 or more will be really effective and you will start to see it in your bank account. I have to emphasize this next part. To reduce bills, I highly, highly, highly recommend, I implore you, I don't even use that word, but I implore you to pick up the phone and call. And also be nice, negotiate, ask questions, see if you can get a better rate. Sometimes it's as simple as just asking. One thing I did specifically when it came to my car insurance was I called around, I got a couple of different quotes. I let them know what I was paying right up front and I would only change if they could come in cheaper. When they did, I took those quotes back to my current insurance company and they were able to go even lower than those quotes because they didn't want to lose me as a customer. So that's something really simple you can do, but no matter what, reduce 3 this month. Next up, tip number 3 is to find your credit score. This could be a scary one and I completely understand that, but I went a solid 10 years having no idea what my credit score was. And when I finally faced it and decided to figure it out, I was actually pleasantly surprised. So don't be scared to dig into this one. It is extremely powerful to know not only your net worth, but also your credit score. And for this month, we're not gonna focus on how to improve that number. I don't want you to dwell on it if it isn't surprisingly good. We will tackle this in the future, no doubt about it. But for now, what you need to do is to know your number. It's just a number, nothing to be scared of. It's fine, just get in there and let's figure it out. First of all, you are entitled to 1 free credit report each year from the 3 major credit bureaus. And this is TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Did I get that right? Yeah. So I've dug through all 3 online and I have found out that only one of them will allow you to access your number for free online and it might only take you a few minutes. And that bureau is Experian. So create your free account through Experian. Make sure you ignore all the pop-ups where they try to upsell a membership beyond free. Stick with the free one, log in all of your information, and literally within minutes, you should be able to find out your score. The other really cool thing about Experian is you can actually set up email alerts. So now anytime I have an adjustment in my score up or down, Experian will notify me, I log in, and within seconds, I know exactly what happened there. I also found there were some great educational tools just poking around through Experian. For example, it had a really handy graph that showed my credit card debt over time. And it was really, really nice to see that graph updating every single month when I was on a mission to pay off all of my credit cards in 1 year. And of course, it breaks down all the major categories that make up your credit score in a super, super easy to understand way. The other thing you can do that I've mentioned on the channel is freecreditreport.com. And if you go to freecreditreport.com, you can access your credit report one time each year from each of the 3 major credit bureaus. I do recommend spreading this out, so every 4 months or so, you can hop in there and have a new one sent in the mail. I did this from TransUnion, and it gave me my full report within minutes online, but it did not give me my number. From there, it of course asked me for a credit card, and I think it was something like $9.99 to access that number online. So again, Experian is where I recommend you go to access your credit score for free online. Next up, number 4, the tip or challenge here is to have a no spend week. This one's not gonna be super easy, so I don't recommend you jump right into this one right now. Maybe wait a few weeks after you've been tracking your spending and set yourself up for success. Now, I wanna be crystal clear on this one. This does not mean spend $0 no matter what for 7 days. Of course, you're gonna have your essentials. So I highly recommend you go to the grocery store before you start your challenge and make sure you have all essentials you need for things around the house like paper towels and toilet paper. What this does mean is no excessive spending on things beyond essentials. So no eating out, we're gonna make all of our meals. No renting movies or going to the movies, and no going out on the weekend and blowing money at bars or happy hours. No new clothes, no new shoes, no new makeup, no new hats. Honestly, even if it's somebody's birthday, don't gift anything that costs money. Offer a unique way to gift, offering to do chores for them around the house, or of course, get crafty and make them something. But no matter what, no spending anything beyond absolute essentials for 7 days. And I have another concrete step that I recommend you take if you are taking on this challenge, and that is to delete all the tempting apps in your phone, starting with Amazon. The other ones I recommend you delete are any food services, so your Postmates or your Hubba Grubba, whatever it's called. No ordering takeout, no ordering from Amazon. Just delete them. You won't miss them for at least 7 days. And since it's just essentials we're allowed to spend money on, that means you need to understand your subscriptions and turn off any that aren't absolutely essential. This one's totally up to you, but for me, an example would be Dollar Shave Club. I have an excess of razors by now. Maybe I should just turn that off for a couple of months. Maybe you can live without the paid version of Spotify, or even live without Netflix. You can do it. Number 5 might be the hardest thing on this list, and this is to improve your net worth by $1,000 in the next 30 days, or 29 if it's February 2020. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly how to take on this challenge, but I will say there are 3 things you need to focus on. That is to increase your income, decrease your spending, or pay off debt. What I ultimately recommend, of course, is some sort of hybrid of the 3. But here's the thing, tips 1, 2, and 4 on this list are actually already helping you get there. So you've got a bit of a head start. I'm gonna help you out a little bit. I wrote down some ideas for each of these. So in terms of increasing your income, you could start that side hustle you've been thinking about. You could ask for a raise at work. You could go out there and earn some kind of performance bonus. So if you work in sales, for example, if you go make a big sale, you got an extra commission check. You could, of course, sell things around the house. You could also offer to babysit, house sit, dog sit, don't sit on the dog. People are always looking for help, so maybe it's just friends and family you can go to and see if they need things done around the house. In terms of decreasing your spending, I have a whole bunch of ideas for you as well. You can certainly start cooking more, so making your foods, find a meal plan and stick to it. And there are tons and tons of meal plans out there. You could also use public transportation. You could stay in on the weekend and do a puzzle or have friends over to watch a movie or play games. You could also just drink less or no alcohol. I know that alcohol definitely isn't cheap, so drinking less is good for your health and good for your wallet. Not to mention, as the month goes on, if you are tracking your spending, you can just look for the holes where your money is sinking into and try to plug those holes. Paying off debt is pretty self-explanatory, so making some extra credit card payments, for example. But what I want to say about this is you kind of win in 2 ways when you pay off debt. So first of all, you're decreasing the principal, the balance that you owe. You're also decreasing the amount that you could be taxed on with interest the following month. So this is a total win-win, so I would honestly recommend you start there. See if you can make an extra payment on a credit card or 2. Now, there is kind of a bonus here that also improves your net worth, but it won't feel as direct, and this is to increase your savings towards your 401k, because this is pre-tax dollars. So if you have money go out of your account, first of all, you're not gonna see it in your bank account, so you're gonna be less likely to spend it. Second of all, you're saving towards a retirement, and that money is pre-tax, so you're reducing your taxable income. That's just kind of a little pro tip as well. So again, the last tip is to increase by $1,000 your net worth. That means you need to know your net worth going into this challenge. Now, before I move on to the hack and the media recommendation, if you do, when you do complete any of these challenges, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to say congrats. Okay, so the hack this month has something to do with taxes because tax season is fast approaching, and that is to do your taxes early. Now, why is this a hack exactly? This is a hack so you don't get hacked. And yes, this is a thing. So people out there try to file taxes for legitimate taxpayers before they do, using their social security number. That way they can get a hold of your refund check. And this gets ugly on a number of levels, and you honestly won't even know until the IRS says, wait a minute, 2 people have filed taxes using your social security number. This actually happened to my girlfriend, and this is still not going away because each and every year she has to verify her identity when she does her taxes using a PIN number that the IRS has to send her in the mail. So again, these thieves usually strike early in the tax season so that they can file before you and get that refund check before you as well. Just another incentive to face the music and get it done early. All right, it is time for your media recommendations for February, and I actually have 2 books here, so you can pick either one of these, and the challenge is to read one of these cover to cover. The first one is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, I think that's how you say it. This was really where I started in 2018, and I remember reading this in just a couple of days, and it seriously changed the way I think about money, about buying assets and not liabilities. It is just extremely eye-opening, and it is a very, very quick read. The other really awesome thing about this book is it's less than $6 for the paperback on Amazon. The other book I recommend is The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. This is a super straightforward and once again really easy read that is all things personal finance in a way that is actionable and again easy to comprehend. And it feels a little bit more modern and up to date than Rich Dad Poor Dad. This one will run you a little bit more money, but of course with each of these you can probably check them out from your local library for free. These were the first two books I read in 2018 in my mission to get good with money, and I highly, highly recommend them both. They both changed my life, and I am definitely going to go back and read them both here in the near future. And on that note, tell me in the comments below if you have a personal finance favorite. Let me know in the comments below if you have a favorite book related to finance. I am looking for one to read next. So that's it, guys. I'll quickly recap the 5 tips for February. The first one was to track every dollar this month. The second was to reduce 3 monthly bills. The third was to figure out your credit score, and I recommended doing this free through Experian. Fourth is to complete a no spend week challenge. And 5 is to improve your net worth by $1,000. And there is a prerequisite for this, which is knowing your net worth. My hack this month is to file your taxes early to avoid getting hacked. And your media recommendation was to read one of these 2 book options. The first was Rich Dad Poor Dad, and the second is The Simple Path to Wealth. My name is Frankie. This is The Money Resolution. Thank you guys if you got this far. I super appreciate a like if you got some value out of this. Comment below if you had a favorite tip or just any thoughts in general you wanted to throw out there. I do try to reply to each and every comment. Subscribe if you have not, and as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks. What a bummer if you got it done before I was able to help you.
So bad.
She said don't chug it because I'm gonna burp throughout, but I need it for a bit. Crunch the numbers. Crunch the numbers. That was all stupid.